Today on Built to Last, working in the murky depths.
Most of everything that we're working with is within 6 inches of our view.
Arts and craft.
The skills are unbelievable.
And water everywhere. Put on your hard hat, it's time for Built to Last.
Built to Last is brought to you by the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Labor and Management Committee and Armstrong Ceilings. Faster, easier, better.
Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Monica Pedersen.
And I'm Mark Nilsson. We're social distancing here at the Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters Apprenticeship and Training Center, where the hands that build America are learning their trade from the ground up, and sometimes even from the ground down.
It's true, and training carpenters to perform their job in a variety of environments is a critical aspect of their education. From high in a skyscraper to below the murky depths, the Carpenters Union members are trained to do their job in any environment. Perhaps the most highly trained is a special group of unlikely underwater heroes.
So many people, when they think of the rivers, they think of going fishing or going boating. What we forget sometimes is how much product actually moves along the waterways.
A lot of commerce comes up and down the river, barges full of grains and oils, coal, salt.
We don't think about the waterways because we don't drive on them, but we do know the impact they have if they ever go down.
Work at the Dresden Lock and Dam. These locks haven't been repaired for 70 to 80 years.
In some instances, we could dewater the chamber, and obviously that makes the work area much easier to work in. These locks were originally built in the 30s. They didn't have the ability to drop in bulkheads.
Setting the formwork later today, and then tomorrow morning we've got concrete scheduled first thing.
The end goal is to install a section of wall that will actually have a slot in it that will allow the Corps in the years to come to dewater this and do much more needed repairs.
It's one of the first sites that I think we've done with the contractor that the majority of the work's all done underwater. I've worked with J.F. Brennan for many years, and what I've noticed is they've grown pretty quick. They've taken a lot of challenges on, and they do it the right way.
Right now, Brennan employs 75 divers. Each one of them are members of the UBC.
Got a lot of large cranes, a lot of large pieces that were going to be placed underwater. So we got the divers involved in the process.
The Brennan reached out to Carpenters Local 174 several months in advance to discuss the scope of work.
And that involved using computer-aided design and modeling what the diver was going to see. This gave them the chance to actually look at this project from the underwater world.
There is no room for error. You don't get a second chance when they get down there. Our members have to do it right, and they have to do it right the first time.
Working underwater, it's the most hazardous job that we have in the Corps.
You don't get very much visibility down there. Most of everything that we're working with is within 6 inches of our view.
You also don't have a great deal of maneuverability. You're wearing a dive suit, you're wearing tools on your chest.
There's a lot of things underwater that you don't know they're there until you actually get down there and feel them. And sometimes that's when you feel them, it's too late.
The structures on which we work are typically 100+ years old. A diver may find himself, working around crumbling structures, which creates safety hazards.
You think about the level of discipline and training that goes in to be able to calmly go down, do what needs to be done, do it well, do it with accuracy. It's pretty impressive.
When they submit their package for their work, regardless of the specs of work, we look at the training of the divers.
We get a lot of guys coming right out of high school that go to the deep sea diving schools, and they don't really have any skills. So they come to us. We get them into the union, get them into that apprenticeship program on the spot.
The United Brotherhood of Carpenters runs a training facility that's unparalleled in the industry.
I've witnessed the apprenticeship training with my own eyes. I was blown away.
So they're able to go and take forming classes and take concrete classes and take, rebar. All the education that we need is provided to us through the UBC.
When you're working concrete work and setting forms above water, that's a feat in itself. And these guys are doing the same thing below surface.
An hour of hard physical labor underwater is probably equivalent to 4 or more hours on surface.
Preparation's huge for what we do. If you have 2 divers in the water, that means you have to have 2 tenders, which are topside help.
Each diver tests his own equipment. The tender that he has working with him will test his equipment, check his equipment over. He'll check the diver over. Just before the diver gets in the water, this dive supervisor will come out and check that diver again.
That umbilical that we wear is our lifeline.
It's their air supply, it's their communications, it's their video, as well as any other instrumentation, like how deep they are.
We got to be very conscious of relaying information.
We've got a crane that may be lowering heavy panels down to you in zero visibility.
Having that communication, just like you do topside, you take that stuff for granted. When you get the newer apprentice divers, there's a lot of apprehension. We dive in sewage plants and oils and things like that.
And so you think of that kind of stuff and the ability to only see maybe a few feet around you, that would actually probably terrify the average person.
It's a passion. It's not for everybody. You're in a helmet, you can't see nothing. If you're claustrophobic, forget it.
It's really impressive just to see all these people coming together with all these skill sets to get big things done.
Their commitment to artistry is as much, if not more, as everyone else's commitment to artistry. And it's been really, really an honor to watch them work.
At Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions, we take great pride in making a positive difference in the lives of people. With the broadest portfolio in the industry and the technical performance to back it up, you can design and install with confidence. Our ceiling construction expertise, training, and pre-engineered ceiling solutions make it easy for you to seamlessly transition from one end of the building to the other. Improve construction efficiencies and keep every job on time, on budget, and on the mark with Armstrong Ceiling and Wall Solutions. Faster, easier, better.
Want a great career? Join the Carpenters Union and be part of the next generation building our communities. With the Carpenters Union Career Connections program, high school students get a head start on the industry's leading curriculum. Learn the latest in construction technology and the many skilled crafts the Carpenters Union represents. Plus, earn as you learn. Receive a nice paycheck, health insurance benefits, and best of all, no college debt. Ask your school district to participate in the Career Connections program and get started on your future.
From bridges and trains to iconic high-rises, have you ever wondered who's powering Chicago? Unlike our sports heroes, they go unnoticed. Yet they proudly keep our businesses, homes, and great city running. IBEW Local 134 electricians and the electrical contractors have the experience, training, and reliability to keep Chicago open for business.
All the world's a stage. While that famous quote may be true, world-class actors need a world-class theater to perform in. When one of Chicago's most famous theater ensembles undertook building a new home, of course, they turned to the world-class talents of skilled union carpenters to get the incredible job done.
Steppenwolf is a neighborhood theater, first and foremost. We're right here in the Lincoln Park community.
We really think of ourselves as a Chicago theater company, which means we try to tell stories that speak to as many members of our community as we possibly can.
It's based in the principle of ensemble.
Steppenwolf is probably the longest successfully running ensemble theater in the country.
Which is about authentic collaboration. We were founded in a church basement in Highland Park, Illinois in 1975. We moved in 1980 to the St. Nicholas Theater. And then in 1991, we opened our first permanent home created for us and our ensemble here on Halstead Street. And over that time period, since 1991, our ensemble has grown to nearly 50 members strong. Our commitment to reflecting the diversity and vibrancy of our city has expanded. In the early 2000s, we started to realize that our downstairs theater, which seats 515 people, and our studio theater upstairs, which at that time was primarily for visiting companies, we were bursting at the seams a little bit.
What we're building here is a brand new theater and an education facility for our campus. We'll replace the existing upstairs theater, so we've got a 300-seat theater that's really in what was meant to be a rehearsal hall.
Once in a lifetime construction. We were working with Norcon, so it was a team effort.
It takes, the technology to get this laid out. It's a lot of work. You've got an oval-shaped theater. The structure is separated in two pieces so that sound transfer doesn't occur from one outside structure into what we've been calling the heart of the theater. Also, there's a skylight that surrounds the entire GFRC glass reinforced concrete panels. They seamlessly visually pass through one another.
When you look at what they're building here, the stage in the middle, it's wide open. So that whole open section you can change. It's like a removable stage and it's going to be changed for every performance. Pretty amazing.
But today we had Yasin, one of our ensemble members, see the inside of the space for the first time.
I'm directing Seagull by Anton Chekhov. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that it would actually open our new theater.
You have to keep going, right? I think we're essential workers. I don't know if everybody does, but I do.
They never stop working. Through coronavirus, through bad weather.
And you don't think about it when you're driving past a site, right? The skills are unbelievable.
Nothing is square. There's not a straight line in the whole theater. The seating is curved.
We're building the theater in the round.
And our carpenters have to build all these forms one at a time, building form work before we even got on the job site.
Everything is exposed in there. It's architectural concrete, and we had to be careful and make sure that our form work was done properly. Our guys did a good job of that.
Local carpenter union, they gotta be proud of themselves. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't have all this stuff here.
Well, they care about the craftsmanship. You want to do a good job, that's what we get paid to do. And that's what you're supposed to do as a union person.
Their commitment to artistry is as much, if not more, as everyone else's commitment to artistry. And it's been really, really an honor to watch them work.
Well, unions rock, you know. I mean, this is what gets this country moving.
Chicago Union Carpenters and just people in personnel in general that best trained in the country, as far as I'm concerned.
Having this happening is kind of an act of theater heroism. So what we can do on our part is deliver the goods. So, you know, people see the art in this beautiful building.
We hope that we're expanding people's understanding of what it is to be an American, what it is to be a Chicagoan, what it is to be a person in this moment in time. And I'm looking forward to the city seeing what to me is a love letter to them. You know, it's saying, we're here, we're never going anywhere. We're so grateful. Chicago is our home.
We go 24/7 to keep these systems going. They have to continually run between the turbines, the pumps, even down to the computers.
Keeping restaurants and hotels up to date with the latest design trends is a constant challenge. Finding qualified contractors isn't at finishingchicago.com. We work with top designers and general contractors who use the latest painting, drywall finishing, and wall covering techniques in Chicagoland's premier hotels and restaurants. The hospitality industry relies on finishingchicago.com as its free resource to find quality finishing contractors. For a great finish, start with finishingchicago.com.
24/7, IBEW Local 9 linemen are there protecting you and your family. From the moment you wake up with a power in your home, on your way to work, lighting the way and easing congestion, plus keeping you safe with traffic lights and cameras. So the next time you're at a stoplight, pass under a power line, or just pull into your brightly lit neighborhood, think of your friends at IBEW Local 9. We'll continue to light the way for you. Meet us online at IBEW9.org.
Got a commercial, industrial, or healthcare construction project? Use a professional Flooring Installers Association install certified contractor.
Flooring must be skillfully installed so it looks great and lasts.
PFIA skilled union installers receive industry-leading training, including ICRA, to deliver quality and safety with any flooring product.
PFIA contractors are the single source for all of your flooring needs.
Flooring done right. The Professional Flooring Installers Association.
The waterways that weave through Northeast Illinois and the city of Chicago are vital to the area's economy and health. Operating 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, the system gets no breaks. And it's the hard-working, skilled tradesmen and women of the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers Local 9 that keep the water flowing.
In the late 1800s, the state of Illinois legislation created the Water Reclamation District. I'm a system dispatcher at the Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago, and this is the Waterways Control Room.
I'm Mariana Spiropoulos. I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, and as we sometimes like to call it, the district.
Local 9 and the district have a history together.
Even though we are different departments, we support one another.
Local 9 organized the district before the building trades came in.
We have our powerhouse dispatchers, we have our chiefs, we have our powerhouse mechanics, we have the electrical operators.
We have to coordinate with each other, as well as coordinating with the systems dispatcher downtown.
The brain system, the nervous system of their whole setup. We go 24/7 to keep these systems going. They have to continually run between the turbines, the pumps, even down to the computers, which monitors everything.
We're probably the second largest user of electricity in the state of Illinois, and we're the liaison between the district and Commonwealth Edison.
So they all play a role here. They're a vital part of the health and safety of the city of Chicago and the suburbs surrounding it.
Our waterways are very important to our region here. It was one of the things that attracted people to Chicago and the Midwest area. It was the center of the United States. We had navigable waterways, which was great for barge traffic. We also have an incredible source of drinking water. Back in the 1800s, Chicago used to put its waste in the Chicago River.
But there was one big issue. The river and its sewage flowed out into Lake Michigan, which is where the intake valves were for the water source, making the drinking water, shall we say, a bit gross. Then came one of the greatest engineering feats of all time.
They created a series of canals to reverse the flow of the river away from the lake and down toward Lockport and eventually into the Des Plaines River. Now, in doing so, we now need to manage the Chicago area waterways, the elevations, because it's a closed system.
The district manages the level of the Chicago area waterways through 4 controlled structures, 3 of which are connected to Lake Michigan, including Wilmette Pumping Station to the north, CRCW in downtown Chicago, TJ O'Brien Lock and Dam on the south, and the Lockport Powerhouse on the southwest Des Plaines River.
With the reversal of the river and the joining canal, water is flowing in the southbound direction to Lockport.
On a day-to-day basis, I'm managing the elevations of the Chicago River.
When we have a heavy rain event, we have engineers that watch our weather patterns in real time.
If we know a certain amount of rain is falling, we can anticipate what the deep tunnel or the reservoirs can absorb.
Which is literally 109 miles of intersecting tunnels and 3 reservoirs. Potentially will hold 22 billion gallons of stormwater.
An inch of rain is about 16 billion gallons. If we know it may surpass that, we'll pull down the canal utilizing a set of gates at our Lockport Powerhouse. We've also got 2 hydroelectric turbines where we can also pull down and generate power.
So the systems dispatchers operate our turbines at the powerhouse remotely. And if we need to, if elevations are getting too high in the canal, we open gates. At the controlling works facility, there's a sequence of 7 gates that are manually operated during a storm event. These are only operated after our turbines at the powerhouse are running at full capacity. All gates are open, and let's say we needed to discharge or divert more water. What we'll do today is simulate what it's like when a gate opens up during a rain event. This is just for simulation. That should give you a good idea of what we're seeing normally.
People who do work for the Metropolitan Water Rec, our electrical operators again, our EITMs, our powerhouse mechanics, our dispatchers, they all know what they do.
If everything's perfect, you don't know anything that we do here.
We have about 84 personnel that are members of Local 9.
Our people are working with theirs in unison to get it done without interruptions to the general public.
To actually see what these men and women do and what they do for us all. They protect your homes and welfare.
Local 9 are one of the most important members of our team. They're critical to what we do, which is to protect residents from flooding in the Cook County area.
Do a stupendous job. They make the district proud as well as us, hands down.
Every day, the city of Chicago flushes 114,849,000 gallons of water. That's enough to fill 4,350 Olympic-sized swimming pools.
Our job as Local 9, as a powerhouse dispatcher electrical operations, is to ensure they have uninterrupted power for their needs.
When you have a plumbing emergency, you want it fixed fast and done right. Plumbers 911 connects you with a highly experienced plumber in 5 minutes or less. That's our 5-minute promise. All our plumbers are highly trained, background checked, licensed, and insured, so your job will be done right the first time. Our phones are open 24/7 to solve your plumbing problem day or night. Call 1-833-PLUM-911. Plumbers 911, your plumbing connection.
We are DeWalt. We're the ones who grind it out. The ones using materials from all over the world to build the things that build America right here in America. And there's no place we'd rather be. Land of the free, tools of the brave.
This is a team. It's made up of different players, positions, skills, talented, sure, but on their own. Because every team needs a coach, someone who makes things work together. That's how Lesset works. We're coaches in the construction industry, bringing together laborers and management, unions and contractor associations. Our work leads to safer, stronger construction, which is a win for us all.
Water is life. Well, clean water is life. Chicago has a great relationship with its waterways. But in a city the size of Chicago, there is a whole lot of flushing going on. In order to keep the water clean and safe for citizens, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District has 7 vital plans to clean up the mess we make of it.
Our number one goal is to make sure everything's powered up all the time. At any given period, 33 megawatts. That's 33 million watts of power. You know, compare that to a modern light bulb in your house that uses about 17 watts of power.
Pretty much every step of the treatment process has some mechanical, electrical component that it needs to keep running.
Our job as Local 9, as a powerhouse dispatcher electrical operations, is to ensure they have uninterrupted power for their needs.
And without those Local 9 operators, we wouldn't be able to do what we do over here.
At the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, our agency is a countywide agency that does 2 things. We treat wastewater and we manage stormwater. Back in the 1800s, Chicago used to put its waste in the Chicago River. So it contaminated the drinking water, and so people were getting sick. The state legislature created our agency, but in the 1920s and 30s, Chicago saw, we need to do something else to approach our waste issue. So we built 7 treatment plants throughout the county. And so everybody's waste and stormwater goes to various plants depending on where they live throughout the county.
This Stickney Water Reclamation Plant here is fed by a combined sewer system, which means we're getting a combination of household and industrial waste.
Everything from your toilet, your sink, your dishwasher, your washing machine, your shower goes into your local sewer system.
But also that stormwater runoff, that's all coming through the same set of sewers.
You would have runoff from oil from cars. You would have runoff from pet waste. You would have runoff from agriculture where they use fertilizer. So that water goes into our deep tunnel, goes to our reservoirs, and then gets pumped back to our treatment plant to be cleaned in the process that our wastewater is cleaned up.
The first step the water takes when it gets to us is it actually goes through a series of coarse screens, make sure there's not any large contaminating material in there. That can be leaves, branches. One day there's a bowling ball in there, apparently one day, all kinds of crazy things that'll end up in the sewers. We want to make sure that those get screened out. First step that it's going to go through is our aerated grit tanks. So what we're doing there is we're adding air to get rid of grit. We have some collectors on each tank. They're just going to scrape along the bottom, pulling that right to a central collection drain. We're going to head into the primary settling tanks. We're going to slow that water down, spread it out, let any fats, oils, and greases that are in that water float up to the top, and let some of that heavier organic material settle down to the bottom.
We got solids and liquids that come to our plant. They get separated. The solids become fertilizer that we call biosolids. The liquid goes through a process where it gets cleaned at our plant.
We're going to take that primary treated water and send it into secondary treatment, which is a biological process. The bugs that are in those tanks are helping us out by taking harmful pollutants, things like ammonia that we don't want to be discharging directly into a river. After that, it's going to go into the final settling tanks. So the water spills over the individual weirs in the final tanks. It's going to meet up with the channels from the other 3 batteries, and then it's discharged in the Chicago Sanitary and Shipping Canal. Our overall goal of treatment here is to be putting out water that's gone through our treatment process that is at least as clean as the bodies of water we're discharging into.
So Local 9 is an integral part of our Water Reclamation District team. We've got amazing staff at our plant, and they take care of the day-to-day operations.
We have 6 main sewage pumps. Each one's got a capacity between 200 and 240 million gallons per day. Nice big pumps.
On the west side, we have another 7, and they are run by 13,000 volts. That kind of gives you an idea of the power that is needed to run this place on a daily basis, and it's non-stop.
It's a 24/7 operation here, and our men and women who work here, we're tremendously proud of them. The best trained in the world.
There's a lot of flushing going on throughout the county.
For Chicagoans, right here in our backyard is one of the largest wastewater treatment plants in the world. We can treat up to 1.4 billion gallons a day. Do the math, that breaks down to 1 million gallons a minute.
You want to make sure that that bacteria doesn't go into our waterways, affect aquatic life, and affect our drinking water. That's the mission of our agency, is to protect our water environment. That is basically what we're here for.
We can't be more proud of our members that are working here, and along with the district itself, we work hand in hand with them along with the other trades, and I believe Local 9 is a step above them all.
That's all for this episode of Built to Last. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Hey, Monica, do you know what Snoop Dogg's favorite tool is?
No, what?
A chisel.
A chisel?
For shizzle.
You mean chisel?
Whatever.
We'll see you next time.